it has been, what, 4 weeks now since this movie came out. I literally just got back from it. Joker.
Just from the theater, like what?
Like, yeah. It was a 3:10 showing, and it is
Okay.
7:12 now. So fighting traffic, getting out of downtown Nashville or whatever. There
Yeah.
was only like 5 people in there total. I had a good conversation with the couple sitting next to me. She
Mm-hmm.
seemed really interested in the Uncut Gems because she's like a huge Adam Sandler fan, and then she watched it, and even her being a huge Adam Sandler fan was like, I
Yeah.
don't know about that. But anyways, we're getting
So.
we're getting over to the Joker side of things. I
Mm-hmm.
finally fucking watched it.
It's about damn time.
I'm sorry,
Like,
I don't get out very often. I don't get out. So
jeez, took you long enough. Okay, so you had a lot to say before you saw the movie.
Yeah.
What did you think, like, compared to what you were thinking that you were going into and what I said and what you've heard so far about it? How did all of that compare to actually watching it?
I guess to summarize, I would just say that it was exactly what I expected, but
Yeah.
a little bit more. So I was happy with
Even
that.
more?
I tried not to set my bar too high for it, being DC, but it is the best DC movie that is an animated, period.
Okay. Is that because it was so serious?
Why so serious? Did you just bust that joke out?
I didn't
Oh.
say why so serious. I said it was so serious.
I know. Oh,
But
okay,
yeah.
okay. No, I don't know why, but I wanted to compare it. This is gonna sound stupid. All I could think was dirt, because when some people think dirt, they think dirty, grimy, unclean, unfit, and like just nasty, etc. But I mean, some people see dirt as a hard worker, good morals, being able to grow up, and like a farmer sees it as life. I don't know why, but I left it thinking a lot of people that had a problem with this movie don't like reality. Because
Oh,
that
see,
that
yeah,
movie
the
was
dirt was
incredibly real, and I really
exactly,
loved it. A lot of people that had
exactly.
problems with it saw the dirt and were like, I don't like that. Let me scroll through my Instagram, my Pinterest, and my Facebook, because this is how I socialize in life. This was real, and
So
I
yeah,
fucking
you
loved
were.
it.
I didn't know where you were going with that dirt comp. Like I was like dirt, like dirt. And what are you talking about?
Actual
And then
dirt.
you're like, oh, real.
Yeah.
Like this. You're
It
going
felt
to
like
the
the
movie
soil
theater-
of the world. I really enjoyed it.
soil of the world.
It felt
Okay.
good. It felt good. There were
Okay.
scenes in it that would like it was really fucked up, and I'd smile, and I'm like, "Am I a fucking psychopath?" Don't answer that. I beat you to the punch there. But no, I really enjoyed that movie. It just felt genuine, and
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I told you.
good
It felt
through and
so
through.
real that's why I had a hard time watching it because it was so sad that this is what reality, like this is what I expect reality to be like.
I
This is
laughed.
what it is like.
I laughed a lot during that movie. That like the scene,
The awkward
scene-
moments? Do you
Yes.
like that? I hate
You know, it's
the
so
awkward moments.
no, like the midget couldn't unlatch the door and get out, and because he was too short. I laughed. I laughed out loud. The couple beside me was like, "Oh, I thought this guy was okay, but he's kind of fucking weird because he's covered in blood."
Okay.
He's like, "I
Okay,
always liked you."
go back to the beginning. Like, walk me through kind of what your process was, because I saw it a couple weeks ago, and
Okay.
at this point, pretty much everybody has seen it. So, like, walk me through what did you think of just the world? I mean, this is the '80s.
Yeah.
You have Arthur. What
Mhm.
did you think of Arthur? Like, just in the beginning, learning about him and his life.
Well, it felt it was completely new of the growth of Arthur into the Joker than any other time we've experienced this, which it didn't feel like they were reaching. It felt, again, more grounded in reality of how this
Yep.
could actually happen.
Instead of him falling into a pit of chemicals and
Yeah.
going crazy,
Yeah.
it's just you put him in the world with a mental illness and people shit on him.
Yeah, and it was. I like the little twists and turns about her saying that his mom saying he was a brother of, Bruce, and
Yeah.
him kind of putting a smile on the kid's face and all this. I mean,
When
oh,
she started talking about that, I was like, they're not.
I
like,
didn't-
That's
I-
not. That's
I
not
didn't think they were
accurate.
gonna
They're not
go with that.
changing that, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not. That's not real. Like I was just like, what? What? So that
but then,
threw me off at
but
first.
then it clicked with her being fucking crazy as well.
Yes.
Which, if she's fucking
Yes.
crazy, how did she get accepted to adopt a child?
Maybe she went crazy after she got the kid.
So she could. That's welcome to parenthood, by the way. Get ready for that shit.
You've led by example.
Wow. Wait. Anyways. So I don't know how to. I mean, you can give me a scene. I really like. Was there a cat dying just then on your end?
Possibly they were fighting. So what about when he confronted? Well, what do you think? What did you think?
I really like the girlfriend aspect where.
Okay. So we'll go through that first.
Okay.
So she, like, when you first meet her in the elevator and everything,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're like, okay, they have something. So then he, like, starts stalking her. And then she comes to the door and she's like, was that you following me today? And like, she's totally okay with him stalking her. And I'm like, who would be okay with somebody stalking them? I didn't get it then. I don't know what point it was, but I'm just like, I think once you started to realize that his mother had issues, I was like, he has issues too. That's not real. Like, she's not, like, she's a real person, but she's not actually with him. Because her character was just so much like it appeased Arthur in all the ways that he wanted to be appeased. And so I'm like, it's not real. So when that came through and he like ended up in her apartment and she's just like, what are you doing here? Like,
When she
I
goes,
need more
Arthur.
time.
She goes, Arthur, right? And when she said that, I go, oh fuck.
Oh, you didn't know.
No, it wasn't.
The whole
There wasn't
time?
any hits. There wasn't any hits.
Oh.
So-
I just figured because it didn't make sense. One,
And if you live in that shitty of an apartment, you have your door unlocked, and you're a parent with a kid sleeping in there, you're fucking bad. So.
So I really liked that twist, and it really showed. Like when he left the apartment, our mom, because I saw it with our mom,
Yeah.
she thought that he had killed her, and I was like, no, she's still alive. And she's like, no, there's ambulances outside. I'm like, they wouldn't have been called that fast. And I read into it later, and he didn't kill her.
Right.
But my mom thought she did, or he thought he did, but I was like, no. I was like, that's not gonna. They're not gonna have one of his first.
It was his
not
only.
first big kill, but
It was
like,
his only time of feeling free from
Yeah.
society and the world when a murder had happened. And it wasn't he was using it like a dark passenger like Dexter. It was just not noticed, not anything, just I could die and no one would matter. But being able to finally fight back, not just against the system, but against
Yeah.
society in his own way, it
Yeah.
felt for the first time liberating for him. So I like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really
the Thomas Wayne character. I
Mm-hmm.
liked being able to see him from somebody else's point of view than his son's, because all we've ever seen of Thomas Wayne was Bruce Wayne's putting him on this pedestal,
Right.
and we've always seen this like amazing person and father and all of this, and this time we saw a different side to him. That was more, like you said, it's real. Like he gets confronted in the bathroom. He's kind of on TV talking about like being very political, and like I didn't like the character. Like character was good and the acting was good, but I didn't like Thomas Wayne. I didn't. I thought that he was some snooty rich guy, and that was.
That's
the
exactly
point of
how you would
view.
look at Bruce Wayne when he
Exactly.
grew up, too, by the way.
Exactly. So it was nice to see the characters that we kind of knew, at least him, that we've known, but to see it through somebody else's eyes.
Right. I agree. I really loved, and I know I'm jumping to the end, but I really loved how both their characters were born at the same time, same day.
Yeah. And I like that it wasn't the Joker that killed his parents. It was
Because
just
it
something.
wasn't.
It wasn't. It was just I thought it might be, and I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That doesn't. No.
They had the
But
pearls, they had all that jazz.
Yes, it fit because it was something that the chaos that was going on, and something that Joker still started, and the reason his parents died is still kind of it's tied into the Joker. So I like the way that they tied in that story, but didn't make it so the Joker killed his
When they
parents.
showed what movie was playing and started coming down, I was like, oh, here it goes. And as soon as it came out, I'm sitting there watching the movie, and I was like, because I was like, in the alley, cut the
Yep.
crowd, and they go
Yep.
in the alley and see that guy come in. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. I knew
Yep.
exactly where this
Yep.
was fucking going.
I didn't think that they were gonna do that, but yeah, as soon as I saw him come out of the theater, I was like, "Oh, it's happening now."
Yeah.
But I didn't going into it. I didn't think that they were gonna do that. So, what was the? What about the just the talk show moment? Because you had made me watch for one of the homework assignments the animated movies that
Right.
was it called the Dark? Is it not? It's not the Dark Knight Returns, is it?
I believe it is.
Okay, so watch that, and that's when the Joker.
The Dark Knight Part 1 and 2, or
Yeah.
something like that. Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2.
Yeah, so the Joker goes on to the talk show and kills his therapist, and then kills everybody in the audience and stuff. So that was the extreme level of the comics. I think they could do that because at that point the Joker had already done so much of Joker stuff in life that at this point he was the Joker. Now at Arthur, he wasn't he's not completely transformed yet,
Mhm.
and so on that show he'd planned to kill himself.
Right.
But he goes on, and that's when he starts to turn, and he just shoots him in the face.
He started
And
to
I'm
turn
just
the
like,
entire time, but he realized what it
But yeah,
was.
yeah,
He realized
exactly.
at that when he was like, and you're a horrible person as well. And
Yeah.
the guy was like, "Why am I a horrible person? Please tell me." And he's like, "You brought me on the show to make fun of me. You invited me here. You playing my clip over and over to make fun of me, to make yourself feel better about." And then that was the full transformation. Fuck everybody. Fuck it all. And just let it go. And I thought that was great. His entrance,
Yep.
I was wondering if that was like something in his head sequence where he's dancing and comes out, have fun and everything. I was like, I wonder if that's in his fucking head. No, he nailed it. He came out because you see the transition because the Joker is always, stylish and fun with his actions. And he was just like, it's going to happen. Well, something's going to happen. I don't know what, but let's have some fun with it. So.
Yep. So, again, do you agree? Like, because I had agreed with you before you even saw it that it should have been called Arthur.
Yeah. I do believe it should have been called Arthur and the second one Joker. But you're not going to get as much of a draw calling it Arthur than you are calling it Joker. So I understand why they did it. I just wish they would.
Yeah.
A name being right is less concerning to them making more money.
Yeah.
So
before we jump into your grading, any other key points from it that you took away? Anything else that kind of jumped out at you from you just coming out of the theater?
I liked how you could see him slowly snapping. Like the punch out, that was a great line where he's like, I forgot to punch out, and just starts beating the shit out of the clock and knocks it off the wall. And the guy's like, what the fuck you say to me? And he goes, and just drops the horn behind him. It shows that he's just, I don't care about anybody. I don't care about anything. Your opinion doesn't matter.
What about his kills? All from the beginning to his first kills on the
train was great.
On the train.
The 3 on the train station was great. Glad they were tied to Bruce, to the Wayne family on there. And Wayne comes out and is like, "Oh, this is a horrible, blah blah blah."
Douchebags.
Right, but at the same time, there's more than likely that exact thing happens all the time in reality, where a fucking shithead gets killed, and they're like, my baby boy. He was just prime of his life, and he was getting things going. He just finished school, that kind of shit. When the kid was a piece of shit. These 3 people were a piece of shit, and they were harassing a girl. And I'm glad that they got shot and killed. I mean, fuck them.
Okay, a little harsh there, but go ahead.
Just harassing the girl. I don't understand that, but if they come over and start beating the shit out of a random guy with an obvious disability or problem, then
but it's the 80s also. Like that's
that's fine then. That's fine.
No, but like back then, if you're taking it into the real world content back in the 80s, they didn't have a grasp of mental illness as much as they do now. I would like to think that people are not as shitty and they're not going to beat up some mentally ill person on the train.
Why would you like to think that? You think people are better nowadays?
I would like to think that.
No, I ask you a question. Do you think people are better nowadays? It's a yes or no.
I don't. I'm just gonna live in my hope.
So you're not even gonna answer it?
Not even gonna answer it.
No, I don't think they are. I think people are better at putting on the fake version of them nowadays.
We all do have a fake voice. We've talked about that.
Fake voice and fake person are 2 completely different things. I get paid for my fake voice.
Okay, so those were his first kills. His second was the other clown, right? That came to his apartment.
That was great. I was wondering if he was actually going to do it. He had as soon as he put it in his pocket. Well, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a tussle or anything, but he pulled it out, and I was wondering if he's going to hide it for a little longer, or the guy's going to say something genuine to kind of back him down. But he's just like, and when the guy was talking to him, like, and you're my boy and everything like that. He's also muttering things to himself. Oh yeah. He's over talking, so he can't hear that actor saying those things that usually have talked him down to make him think he's on his side. So he's talking to himself to blind out whatever the fuck garbage is coming out of his mouth. So he's already made up his mind. I'm gonna kill him. But as soon as he turns, he already knew. But like I said, I love the little guy not being able to get out of the apartment. He was like, "Can you?"
Oh, I'm like, please don't kill the little guy. I was like, he hasn't been mean to you. Yeah. Oh god, there was another point I wanted to bring up before we went into grading. Anything else that jumps out at you?
No, I'm pretty sure we'll come across some other things though.
Yeah.
I like the revolting of the clowns.
What about just Joaquin Phoenix's performance in general?
I thought it was great. I don't think it's as hyped as what everybody was talking about.
Really? Why?
Because if when you're watching a movie, you can pick out specific things that you think are well done in that movie. The one thing I picked out was whoever did the music. That stuck with me the entire time. Whoever did the music and the build-ups and the letdowns and whatever they picked for each score and each scene and seeing it transition into... I fucking loved it. I thought that was by far better than Joaquin Phoenix. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was good because it's an iconic role. I think that pushes him up higher than what it was. I think he did a good job, but I don't think it's as great as what people are saying. Everyone's like, "Oh, this one's absolutely amazing. It's a completely different style Joker, Oscar nominations and all that."
I was gonna say, do you think that he deserves an Oscar nom?
I think he'll get a nomination, but I don't think he'll get it because I don't think it was that great.
I think he definitely deserves the Oscar nom. But I need to see who he's going against to see.
I don't care who he's going against. I don't think he deserves a win on it.
I care more about I love the Oscars and I love to watch all that. But I need to see who he's going against because a lot of times when I see an actor, I'm like, or when I see a movie, I see the actor. And
I did not. That was good.
That's my point. Is like when you get lost in a character, that takes it to a new level.
And I noticed that even at
deserves nomination.
Even at the very end, he's smoking the entire movie. And even at the very end, when he's in his own, by the way, the white room and the therapist and everything, that's basically he's in his own head. He's trapped in his own head with his psychotic. That's what I believe it is, at least. But as he's sitting there talking, he's like, you wouldn't get the joke, you know? And he's taking a drag off a cigarette. You can look at all of his fingers. They're all white except this one, which is the smoker finger. It's a little more orange than anything else. And I picked it out right off the bat. And I was like, wow. The detail. I thought they did a great job. I think he did like a B+ performance on it, which I think is really good. But I don't think it was as great as what people are saying.
That's technically the highest grade I've ever heard you give.
No, he got a B+. The movie...
I know. You gave him, but I'm saying that's literally the highest score I've heard you give anything or anyone since we've been doing this. But yeah, I think I really enjoyed his performance. I think he definitely deserves an Oscar nomination. I want to see who else he's going against because if he's going against somebody who I watched and I'm like, oh, if I haven't watched some of the other movies coming out, but if like he's going against Matt Damon and I'm watching the Matt Damon movie and I'm like, oh, that's Matt Damon. Like,
right.
I don't want him to win over Joaquin Phoenix. I like it when I get lost in the character and not the actor, which is why I can't watch Tom Cruise movies because all I see is Tom Cruise.
All I see is a short person.
Okay, so what would you give the movie overall? Your grade?
I will also give it a B+.
Okay.
I thought it was good and solid. Probably one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Just because of the grit and realism of it. It didn't take me to that fantasy world because it wasn't supposed to. And then what it did is scratch people or rub them the wrong way because they could see this actually happening and shit like this going down and the shadiness and the political talk and the difference between the 1% and the 99 and all of it is relatable, and that's why I believe some people wouldn't like the movie, because when they go to the movies, if they wanted to see something like that, they'd read the news or look out their window. They go to the movies for an escape from reality.
Yeah. Are you impressed that it did $1 billion?
Yes.
I'm actually impressed that
shouldn't.
it's done $1 billion too.
I don't think
Like,
it shouldn't have done $1 billion. I think it should be right at that marker or barely below it. $1 billion
Mhm.
and nowadays, I mean, it's not as big of a deal
There-
because it's easier to hit.
Yeah.
But I would
I've
say,
actually looked it up. There's like 50 movies in the $1 billion club.
yeah. So it's
Not
going to be
anything
easier and
big.
easier to hit in the future. So eventually, you're going to have like Frozen 9. It hit $1 billion, and they're gonna.
And it's like not a big deal.
It's not going to be a thing anymore. So I don't like
It's
that
the
being
$2
a
billion
grading.
club.
Yeah, I don't like that being a grading point on money. I like it being how much it means to me, because I don't give a fuck what people like or dislike. I like enjoying
True.
what I want.
But you have a when you have a wider audience, there's more talk, there's more hype, there's more
Agreed.
information, which is why I was gonna bring this up in our news section, but like there's rumors about being a sequel.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's not needed at all. I don't want it to occur. I think they'll do a good job with it. I honestly think it'll be like a C- movie in my book. It'll be enjoyable. It'll have more action. It'll be about him kind of gathering his people. I don't know what the fuck it'll be. Just throwing it down the air. But honestly,
So-
they just see an easy way to put a number
Oh,
2
make
to
more
something
money.
and make
Yeah.
more money. I want it.
Um,
I like movies that don't care about the money, even though that's the point of a movie. I like the ones that actually can represent and make you feel.
Originally, Todd Phillips, the director, and Joaquin Phoenix were like, "This is a one and done." Like they'd said that from the beginning when they signed on, throughout the process, everything. And now that it's done so successful, there are rumors. There's been multiple reports that it's already in the works, and that's not true. I'm waiting for confirmation from a couple of like real sources to say yes, 100%. Because there's rumors right now that Todd Phillips is not only working on a Joker 2, but also working with other DC movies. And I kind of don't want it to get a sequel because I feel like it was what I think it did what it wanted to do. I think the message was clear. And I think it would delude what this movie meant if you do a sequel.
This movie's
It's
best as a standalone. I agree.
Yes. Yep. So I'm glad you finally saw it, like 4 or 5 weeks after it came out.
Fuck you. I've been trying. Literally been trying. I set up like 3 different
Finally,
dates.
you got it done though. So proud of you.
I keep trying to take people, and everyone just keeps backing out or time doesn't work. And today I was just like, fuck it, I'm going. I don't give a shit. So I
There
went.
you go. That's what you needed to do.